Welcome to the first installment of Trailblazers. I'm your host, City Calendar, and allow me the time as we look to yesteryear and pay homage to West Indian greats who not only impacted the game, but history as we know it.
Bring back the old time days. Bring back them old time ways.
George Headley. Stylish, graceful, and full of wisdom. Born May 30th, 1909, in Panama as a result of his father's involvement in the Panama Canal construction, Mr. Headley wanted better for his son, so he sent him to Jamaica to sharpen up on his English as well as pursue his studies. However, this is where his passion for cricket was ignited. Never neglecting his academics, he flourished to the point where he was supposed to be a dentist in America. However, confusion over his papers delayed that departure. And while rectifying that issue in Jamaica, he played a couple of first-class matches, one of which he scored a double century, convincing him to give up dentistry for cricket. When you think about a dentist, particular qualities come to mind. They must be precise when operating, be calculated in their approach, and have a keen eye for detail. Now, these are some of the qualities in which Headley transferred from the office to the field. Excuse me a moment. Headley was precise with his placement of the ball in the gaps. He was calculated in his stroke play and paid attention to detail when it came to studying his opponents. From his debut in 1930 versus England onwards, there were visual evidence of his immense quality as a stroke player. His importance to the West Indies' success was made clear by the nickname he adopted. He was referred to as Atlas. In Greek mythology, Atlas was a titan who was responsible for bearing the weight of the heavens on his shoulders. Now this is due to the fact that he shouldered the bulk of the run scoring for the West Indies, performing as a one-man band on most occasions, bearing the burden of West Indian hopes. Now, to many cricket enthusiasts, Sir Don Bradman is recognized as the greatest batsman of all time. During the period before the war, Headley was equally prolific and talented, drawing comparisons to both of them. Thus, the moniker of Black Bradman was given to Headley. However, West Indians considered Bradman the White Headley, indicating that he was superior to the Australian legend. Now, the event to settle the argument of Bradman versus Headley was the 1931 tour of Australia, where both batsmen stood up for their respective teams. Now, in an attempt to neutralize Headley, the Australians devised a scheme to bowl to his legs. Now, Headley was predominantly an off-sided player, driving and cutting and so. But they decided to bowl to his legs, realizing that he was weak off the on drive. So, in a way to rectify that problem, in the nets he spent hours upon hours mastering that on drive. Due to his tenacity in the nets, he walked out on the third test match of that test series and scored a brilliant century, sweeping and playing the on drive to perfection. At the end of the tour, he was dubbed the greatest leg-sided player the masses have ever seen. Now, during his career, the West Indies experienced success never seen before. His impact was felt not only in the field and also in his batting. Headley was very observant and a great tactician. His advice often led to successful execution of fielding plans. Though he contributed with the element of fielding as well as his excellence with the bat, you would think he would automatically be appointed the captain of the West Indies. This was not the case. For in this era of time, a black man was not seen as being capable of occupying a position of leadership. In 1948, George Headley was appointed the captain of the West Indies for a test match against England, serving as the first black man to have this honour. Due to the fact that he lost a lot of his prime years to the war, this match in particular served as the sunset to his career. Over his career of 22 matches, he amassed 2,190 runs at an average of 60.83. He recorded 10 centuries and had the highest score of 270 not out. He was the first world-class batsman for the West Indies, leading the way for other greats of the game, giving them the confidence that they could play cricket at the highest level. Whether you knew him as Atlas, the Black Bratman, or the Great Black Hope, George Headley is one of the greatest batsmen of all time.
I know